What's up, YouTube? This is Buck with Buck and Chuck Gaming, coming at you with a new top 5 list today. It's going to be the top 5 underrated or underappreciated RPGs for the PS4. So I'm not going to be talking about games like no Persona 4, no Final Fantasy, so no Final Fantasy 14, 15, anything like that, no Kingdom Hearts. These are going to be games that deserve more love that nobody talks about. So if you would, I'd really appreciate it if you give us a like, share, and subscribe. It definitely helps us out. And without further ado, here comes the list. The first game we're going to talk about is also going to be the most mainstream game we're going to be talking about here today. And that's why I have it listed first. As you can see by the title up there, it's Legends of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. And specifically the first one, because this is a series of really 4 connected games. And we've had parts 1 through 3 come out in the US so far. Part 4 is due, I believe, later on this year. Maybe early next year, but I think it's later this year. And they tell maybe the best interconnected story in all of gaming, period. It has one of the most finely crafted worlds. The only drawback to that is it does take a little bit to get into it. I mean, the series really is 4 games to tell one whole story. And each game is going to be probably, this clock will be in at right around, I think, 50 hours for the first one. I still have to catch up on the rest of the series, but, you can't beat these games as far as story and presentation. They're absolutely fantastic. I give it the highest recommendation. And like I said, the Trails series, as in the Trails of Cold Steel and Trails in the Sky, they have the best, I'd say, interconnected world in gaming. And the only drawback here for people is if you're not a big fan of the anime art style. It is heavily anime influenced. It's JRPG, but personally I grew up on those. I have no problem with that and love the aesthetic. Number 2 here, I feel a little bad. It's a game I've already talked about in a previous video. It's going to be Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. And what else can I say about this game? This game is Digimon meets Final Fantasy X. And that is a fantastic mix, and anyone who likes either of those games should definitely give this series a try. And then you combine that with all the Pokemon, Digimon-esque, monster taming, trapping, catching, all those mechanics are in here, and it makes for an absolutely amazing game. It's very diversified. There's, I think, 300 and some odd Digimon. I might have that, it's been a little while since I played. I might have that number off, but there's a ton of Digimon collect, evolve, digivolve, whatever you want to call it. And it uses, like I said, the Final Fantasy X battle system. For my money, this is one of the absolute best RPGs on the PS4, and it's heavily underrated. I never hear anyone else really talking about it. It does have this game and also the sequel, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, Hackers or something like that. I have both of them. I guess I could just take a look. But they're both awesome games and should definitely be checked out. And the next one on the list here, it's going to be Ys Origin. I know Ys 8 came out and got a lot of hype, and it certainly deserved it. That game is an absolutely amazing game. It's fantastic. But not a lot of people talk about Ys Origin here. And this is going to be the first on the list. It's actually going to be more of an action RPG instead of a traditional JRPG. And it's actually the very start of the Ys series, like the name implies, Ys Origin. And don't let the graphical style or the graphics in general of Ys Origin deter you away from playing this one. This definitely wasn't made for the PS4. I believe it came out in about 2006 on PCs in Japan, and then it was later ported to the Vita. So this is kind of a port of a port of a port, but it is an amazing game overall, and I'm definitely glad that we have it here to play on the PS4. And it's just an awesome dungeon crawl. There's a lot of great puzzles in here. And it's just an awesome place to start if you're just getting into the Ys series. Obviously, as the name implies, this is Ys Origin. It's going to be the start of the story. And just a great place to jump off and start in general. And I highly recommend the series and this game. And number 4 here is going to be Landgrisser 1 and 2. The game actually just came out not too long ago here in the States, I believe in about February. And if anyone is a fan of Fire Emblem, this is about the best equivalent that we're going to get on PS4. And both these games actually came out around the same time, in the late 80s, early 90s in Japan. So this is a remake of Landgrisser 1 and 2 that came out on the Famicom. But don't let that deter you here. This game has the original games and redrawn sprites in game, but this is probably, for my money, the best Fire Emblem-esque strategy RPG on the PS4. I mean, as you can see from the screen here, it's very much like Fire Emblem. You get your units on the grid-based systems, you move them around, you attack your enemies. If you loved Three Houses or any of the DS or even Game Boy Advance games, I highly recommend Landgrisser 1 and 2. You can't go wrong with a good strategy RPG, and I honestly wish we had more strategy RPGs on PS4, but at least this is a good one, and one that's definitely been flying under the radar for a lot of people, that's for sure. And if you're looking to scratch, we'll call it the Fire Emblem itch, Landgrisser 1 and 2, that's the best way I think you could do it out on the PS4. Definitely recommend that. And the last game I'm going to be talking about here is a little known game from Tokyo RPG Factory, which is a small subsidiary of Square Enix. And the game is called I Am Setsuna. I believe it came out back in 2016. And this is kind of a spiritual successor to the 16-bit greats like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI. And more specifically Chrono Trigger, which is actually one of my absolute favorite games of all time. As you can see, the battle system here, it's active time battle. And they also have text just like Chrono Trigger, and they have combo moves, so two of your party members can team up and do combination attacks. I think that's an underrated feature that should be in a lot more RPGs. You can see right there, that was X Strike directly from Chrono Trigger there. So this game's battle system is absolutely on point, and I think one of the best ones for any game on the PS4 period. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I definitely appreciate if you guys would like, share, and subscribe. It does help the channel out a ton. And if you would, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I love interacting with you guys and your thoughts, opinions. What other RPGs do you guys think are underrated that I missed? I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, I'll be back within the next week with a new video. I'm probably going to try and upload the Rise and Fall of the Crash Bandicoot retrospective if I can get done with that one. Otherwise, it'll probably be my review of Mega Man 3 coming up to go along with the Mega Man series. Anyways, I will see you guys again here soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.